Okay. All right, let's do this. First, I need to make a couple changes to the. Well, I'll make changes to the schedule later. Let's just get on with it since I have a couple hours. So we're going to be writing a parser today, and we could use any of the number of utilities as the scanners in the IO util library, now known as the IO or the OS library. The IO util has been deprecated. You shouldn't be using IO util at all in any new project. How's it going, Black Mouse? So, what does that mean? What is a parser? We're going to write the parser exactly as we would do it in C for a reason. The main reason for that is because it's going to be hands down the fastest possible parser. And also to prove that you can do C-like code in Go without using any of the utilities. If you want to use the utilities, you certainly can. But another reason, kind of a third reason, is because I want to be able to do the same exercise in C as a challenge project for people. So I can give them this assignment and then say, hey, write this in C, report it to C, or write it in C first, and then write it in Go. Because it's going to be dealing with bytes and runes, which is a really fundamental difference between Go and C. It's one of the main reasons they made it, actually. So that's what we're going to do. I need to get into it right now. So this is in the conf-go repo. Conf-go under RWXrob. If you're in Twitch, you just got a URL. Here's the. Here, I'll put it in chat, I guess. Is chat off for some reason? Pardon me. I think YouTube chat is off for some reason. Let me go fix it. It says live chat. I don't understand. Huh. Top chat. Might not be visible. Why does it top chat? Something's not right with the YouTube stream as usual. If somebody's in YouTube chat, let me know, because I can't. It doesn't seem like it wants to let me place any chat in there. Oh, there we go. There you go. Here's a go, Hamashu. That was weird. It's a pretty serious bug in YouTube over there. All right. So right. I need to fix a few things here. Okay, there we go. Now you're pretty good. All right. So I'm going to set my tmux to be in here so I can, turn it on. I need to fix my screen key to not be in Witcher mode. I turned the opacity off, but I'm not going to be doing screen keys anymore for Witcher because it just doesn't help. I've been playing Witcher at nights sometimes. I don't know. We'll see as much time as I can stay with the coding thing. So what do we have? We have an empty thing. And I think we closed out all our issues. Yeah, we need to do file lock during writes. That's a thing maybe somebody will do. Maybe a nice to have someday. So we need to create a parse, and this is going to be going on a map. So we have a save, and we need to make a read and a load. The read's going to read from the reader, the load's going to load, but there's actually another one in here that I neglected. I woke up and I remembered it this morning. We need to make another constructor that takes a byte string. And by that, what I mean is, a byte slice. So we've got this map struct and the interface that goes with it. And I'm going to make another one called parser. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it a constructor. Where is it? There we go. New map. So we want new map, right? And that will give us a brand new conf map. But we also want parse or parse map. And this will give you, this will return a map. I don't like parse map because it's like parsing a map. So this is conf.parse. And this will take a byte slice and give back a map struct. So this is, this is kind of generic. It'll take any number of bytes and it will parse it out. We're going to use this utility function for lots of things. So parse constructs and returns a new returns a struct that fulfills the map interface when from parsed raw data, raw byte data. I get it from parsed bytes. All right. Now the reason we can parse bytes here is because, well, I mean, there's two ways to do this, and we're going to have to think about both of those ways. Because if we're going to make it Unicode aware, we'll need to convert that byte slice to a range and then go over the Unicode. So we're gonna give that some consideration later because I want to be able to talk about the difference between Unicode and bytes. We're not writing an editor now. This is a configuration thing. So parse. And I mean, let's give it some data in our test. We'll make an example test. Example home. Save func example parse. And the output should be foo equals foo. This is where having a fuzzer would be a good idea. We're going to get fuzz testing officially in 1.18. They just announced it. There was a thing on it in Twitter. So this can be any byte data. So we could say fmt println conf parse byte. How's it going? So here we can put a byte slice of any kind. And we could do, I mean, the simple one is, foo equals foo. And then a line return. Actually, what's the carriage return, line return? Because it's supposed to take both. And then bar equals bar. And let's say that last one doesn't even have a line return. Okay, so that's important because we want to be able to read end of line situations as well. No, we don't. You have to have a line return. You can have assume the same file too, and that's fine. It does not care. We got here a problem here. All right, so that should actually cover it for both. Yep. Now I'll make this the test. So we're missing return at end of function, map 119. All right, so 119. Okay, we got here. It says no return, return map. All right, so what is M? First of all, we need to make a new structure. So we can probably get away with just calling new map. Let's do that. For right now, we know new map is fine, but we could have done it. We could have repeated all those steps. M equals new map. And then we're going to return M. But that's not going to fulfill the test yet because, we don't, it's not there yet, right? So then we need to parse it. So here's the stuff. We have two ways of doing this. Good morning, Igor. We can parse the byte string, the byte slice, or we can convert the byte slice into a string and convert and parse Unicode code points, which range from 1 byte to 3 bytes long. And that's significant, right? Because in C, so I'm going to do this two different ways. And the first time I'm going to do it the way you would traditionally do this in C. And the second way I do it is going to be the modern way to do it in a Unicode aware way. And it's the reason that most C code with relation to Unicode is really broken, because it doesn't read Unicode properly. So it's also another reason that Go rocks, is like really, really great, because it has internal awareness of Unicode. So we take, the first thing we just do is just loop through the bytes, right? So for, we can either loop through the bytes with a for loop. We could do, we could just do a counter, or for n, n plus 1 kind of thing. Let's do that. So let's just do a forever loop that we'll break out of. And we'll do kind of a recursive descent parser, but we only have 2 tokens to look for. Line return, the delimiter, there's 3 different tokens, right? So there are only if you want to call it a token, I don't know if it's really a token. There's the key name. So here are the simplified, here are the tokens. All right, so let's just write them out since you're here. So wait. C with wide char, wchar.h. Nice, glad it does now. So we can do this. I need to code some modern C. I need to do that. Parsing. Okay, so we're gonna do, the first thing we have to figure out what are the tokens here, right? So our file, you guys know what our file looks like, right? So we have a key token, and then we have an equal sign, which I guess whatever you want to call it, we call it equal. We have a value, which is not a token so much as it is, but it is actually, because it's just it's a lexical token because it's got lots of stuff in it, right? It's got values in it. It's technically, this is the difference between whether we're going to have to do our parsing and then lexing thing. So I'm just trying to break up to the main points. And then we have a line ending. So we have an EO line, and we have an end of file, which is like, we don't have any more data, right? So I still like everyone else. That's really cool. That's fantastic. Ancient Straits. You found a good SQL binding for FFmpeg. Very cool. So this is really it. Um, I mean, I don't know if you want to call these lexemes. They really aren't, because these are like the main semantic, tokens. Um, if you were going to do here, let's see, I guess we could call it, here are the components. Okay, so if you're going to do proper parsing, you would create a stream of tokens, and then you would send the stream of tokens to, I mean, if you're going to use this method, you would create a stream of tokens, and then you would send the tokens to the semantic parser, and then that would tell you whether it was a thing or not. Okay, we're not going to do any of that. Okay, we're not going to do any of that. We're going to just say, so all we really care about is there an equal sign or not, right? That's it. Okay, so and then we're going to use a state parser instead of a functional parser. So we have a couple different states, right? Let's do where this is. If you know parsing, you know that there's lots of different ways to do this. I mean, I don't know. I guess we could do if we do a functional parser, it'll be a little bit more in direction, and it might take a little slower. This is a really tiny parser, so using a state parser is totally fine. And what are we doing, right? We're gonna just scan every single byte and make a decision about what comes next. So you can actually write parsers in Bash as well. But if we're going to do a state parser, we kind of have to establish what states we're in. And this is kind of the same as the tokens we just did, right? First of all, we don't have any complex tokens or things to parse. We don't have, okay, this is italicized and this is also, highlighted and things like that. We don't have any of that because it's very flat. So this is a really, really simple parsing exercise. We have a few states, so let's just write them. So we have bar. So we have, let's see, let's call it in key. We have in value. Those are the two main states. And then I guess we have end of line, and that's really it. We don't even need that because that's kind of a final state. So that's really it. And by default, both of these are off, right? So we're going to actually set in key to be true, Phil, because we're going to assume you're in a key. Because when you start the file, you're in a key. There's no white space to parse here at all. In fact, white space is not allowed, according to this. Loaders loads the default for location. Reader. Here we go. This actually should be on parser. I should put that on parser. Yeah. Type parser. Parser. Whoops. Interface. Parse bytes. And return mutex. Now, I guess we should probably return an error too. We have to return a tuple or two things. So we should return the mutex. So we need to return a map. It needs to fulfill map. It doesn't need to be a map. And an error. Now this is going to be weird though, because this just means it has to fulfill map. It doesn't have to be a map. That's a really easy thing to get wrong. I remember getting that wrong many times. In fact, I'm even unsure of it now, because you don't want to return a map from the struct, from the function. You just absolutely don't want to do that. You want to return something that fulfills map, but you want to declare it as saying, hey, this is something that returns something that is a map. I think I probably want to just put interface here. I don't know if I even want to put map here. I think I might want to actually put an unnamed interface. Because it's going to say that I'm not returning the right thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I need that. I need that to be able to return any possible struct, but I need to be able to say that the struct fulfills the map interface. If I put map here, watch, I'll show you. It's going to make it return a map. I always screw that up. It's hard. Parser. It takes a byte slice. I'm just building a conf-go module. Yep, you can go read about it. Parser is implemented by, it's on my GitHub. It's github/arvixrob/conf-go. Takes byte slice. Oopsie. What's going on? Why won't it work? Takes a byte slice and reads from it. And parses it, returning any error in the process. The data being parsed must comply with requirements for configuration data. One configuration value per line. Each line must contain an equal sign delimiter. White space around equal delimiter is not ignored. Lines must end with the scanner scan line endings. Standard with I'm going to put standard ending. Keys and values keys and value may be any string value except line ending. Editable string keys and values are strongly recommended. Empty lines will be ignored and overwritten by save, etc. No support for comments. Okay, so that stuff belongs better there. So reader, all right. Implemented by anything that reads data from an IO reader. This is interesting. I don't think I want reader. I don't want it at all. I want load, but I don't want read. Because the reader is going to return a new one. I don't want loader either. I don't want loader either. I just realized I don't want those. I need the parser and I need the loader because I'm going to throw it away every time. I'm going to make a new one every time because I want to recover the memory. Yeah, I know I'm not going to reuse that memory. Doesn't make sense. So that's interesting. I'm glad I found that. Simplified that interface a little bit. So loader's gone. This changes into, we don't need parser either. Why did I write parser? I don't need parser. We don't have a parser. There's no method. It's a parser. Parser is a function. So this goes away too. I don't know what I was thinking. That's why the documentation was so hard for me to write because it's in the wrong thing. All right. Give me a sec here. VA lib. Wait, no. VA map. Go. Parse. Yep. There you go. Good to know what you're building before you build it, right? I mean, you can get over you can overdo it. I've done that. I've overdone the writing of the stuff. But this does help get you to where you need to be. N key equals false equals true. All right, 24 as a error. Oh, whoop. I could have swore you could do that. Maybe I can't. That's the JavaScripty kind of thing. I mean, if I'm not in a key, then I'm in a val. So I can use one toggle semaphore. I don't need to do any of it. Yeah. I'm gonna get fancy here. I'm gonna get fancy. Make this a Boolean. Key or val. So if it's 0, it's a key. If it's a 1, it's in the val. Every other state can be detected by the single character. So it's not INI. No, this is absolutely not INI. And this is 1,000 billion times faster than INI parsing. Yeah. I mean, programmer, you missed the entire point of this whole project. So go back and watch the other videos. You have to include the /r all the time. Thank you, CJ. I'm a little sweaty. I don't know what's going on. It's not even hot here. Turn my fan on. All right. So we're gonna do, and I mean I've done a ton of INI parsing. I wrote the INI Ruby parser. All right, so we have a key or a val. This is really, really simple. This is why I want to do it this way. I do not want this to be overly complicated. So if it's false, that means we're parsing a key. If it's true, it means we're parsing a value. That's it. All right. So we are parsing a value. So we can do this. So we can do 4. And we're going to go ahead and set the, and we could do this just a regular, we could initialize the variable and everything right here too. Might as well do that. Doesn't hurt. So let's do the position or the cursor or whatever you want to call it. So let's do I instead of n. What about enum key value? We don't need that. We don't need any enums for this. This is so simple. It doesn't even need that one. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's really simple. How's it going, Quint? So for I equals 0, that's the first position. And then, I can't remember which one it is. I want to do, we don't even need this, actually. Fuck that. I'm not doing any of that. I mean, I don't need that. I'm just going to forever loop. I don't like, yeah, I'm just doing like that. I is automatically 0. Yep. Var I is an int. All right, so we're gonna loop for it. So we say, now I could have ranged over the entire byte slice, but then I can't advance it the way I want to. So in this case, that's not that big of a deal because I don't have any tokens that are more than one, right? But I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm kind of prematurely optimizing knowing what I'm going to be doing here. But okay, so first of all, so we have to have two containers. We have to have two string containers, var key and val, and those are both strings. And they don't have any particular size. They're just going to be made up of bytes. Actually, no. We're going to make them byte slices. And then we'll convert them to keys at the end. We'll convert them to keys when we put them into the map. That'll be interesting because if there's any Unicode problems, I should probably catch it at that point. I might be able to get away with just doing this way. Yeah, but yeah, that's not what we're doing. we're not writing super easy high level Ruby here. That's not the point. I could be done with this entire thing with one scanner call in Go. Just, I mean, I'm not yelling at anybody, but if you're trying to tell me more efficient ways to do this by writing less code, you're missing the point. The point of this is to write a C-level parser that's dealing directly with the bytes. There's probably, I don't know, I can think of maybe 12 different ways to do this that are already supported by Go that include one-line scanner functions. Okay, that's not the point. The point is I want to write a highly optimized parser that I have total control of that could be directly implemented in C as well. So, and sometimes it's actually faster to do that long term for that kind of thing. I mean, it's definitely going to be the most efficient way to do this. So because I can implement my own protocol here. If I didn't do this, I'd have to get around other different problems with the scanner. Like for example, the scanner, the built-in line scanner already has built-in support for comments and empty lines. I don't want that. I want it to blow up on that. So that's what's up. I'm gonna return an error here as well. So yep, the error will give us the exact line number it's on. And when we're not going to do any fancy errors, if I were going to do a true parser, like for an editor or something, then I would also have, some sort of parser state, and the parser state would return what one it was on and everything. I could still do that. I mean, we could do that. We could have like a pointer, like a parser pointer or whatever you want to call it. And then when you return that instead of the error, and then what that would give you is it give you the exact position in the thing, and you could actually do its state and everything. There's lots of really cool things you can do when you're like, zipping through, scanning through a thing. A string toke. Yeah. Well, this is, yeah, I would not use string toke personally, but byte operations are hard. I don't even attempt just yet. Yeah. At the end of the world is here. I am not writing Go anymore daily. It's been weeks and it's not my fingers. It's not in my fingers. Oh no. Just write Rust. Well, write it in Rust. Do whatever you want to. Do whatever makes you happy. So, so here we go. We've got to parse this stuff. So we have the initial thing is already on 0. So all we really need to do is detect two tokens, the equal sign and the end of line. That's it. And so otherwise, we just keep adding it in. So we need to first of all, look at the current token. So, and we don't even have to do look aheads or anything in this. This is like a really wicked easy parser. Yeah. So we're going to do, by what objective measure is Rust best? And people have to say that and they can never qualify the statement. They always repeat their fanboy bullshit. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say, first of all, we need to read the current byte. So we'll just say B for byte. And we'll read that from the current position. So, oh, we already have a B. So we'll do, how about C for current? And so B at byte position I will be what? Now, the problem with this is, oh, thanks for the sub. The problem with this is, what if there isn't a thing there? So what if we're reading off the end, right? So we actually have to do a check before we even do this. We need to make sure there's at least that many bytes in it, even if it's I length. So if this has to be, otherwise we're gonna read off the end and get a memory buffer overflow, right? So now Go won't let you do that, but yeah, memory leaks and safe multi-threading. No, it's complete bullshit. More bullshit from the Rust group. You can't prove to me that it has no memory leaks. No memory leaks. That's your exact statement. And safe multi-threading. Such fucking bullshit. I'm so Frank, stop spewing bullshit. All right. So, I mean, learn how to program before you say that shit. Okay. Let's do something else. First of all, we need to check the bounds. We need to do bounds checking. Now, you would have to do bounds checking no matter what. If this were C or Go or any language, you should be doing bounds checking anyway, even though Go handles going off the end really easy. It doesn't give you a problem or anything. It would just return an error. It would give you a nil error probably, because yeah, let's actually try it. Let's test it without it, shall we? Let's actually write it very simply without any checks so we can get it to work. So we have C, and we need to just ask. So let's do that, actually parsing the question. So I'm going to put it to do so not forget. Bounds checking. All right. And then we're going to do this. We're going to say, so we're going to put here that, we're going to go ahead and add this to I'm trying to figure out the most efficient way to append it. The truth of the matter is that our final buffer, no, we're not going to be able to do that. That's too bad. Oh, we're not going to be able to. I was trying to pre-size the new map to see if we could allocate some memory to make it go a little bit faster using a make, but we use new map instead. That's one of the reasons I was saying we could use new map and just do our new map here. But we have we have an estimation of the general size, but we don't have an estimation of the number of keys and stuff, which is what make statement would do if we were going to allocate a map that way. So that doesn't bias anything. So there's no need to fuck with that. So we can just go ahead and just add it. So the first thing we need to say is, we need to check. So if we're in a key, well, what if the first character is a letter? Right, so we need to check the state to see. So let's assume let's talk about being in a key. Let's assume blue sky. So if we're in a key, so if key or val, so if not key or val, it doesn't work really. I mean, I could use two booleans here, but I mean, they're booleans, right? You can't be in a key or val at the same time. That's why I wanted to say that. I like that because it like just toggles it, you know? So, KV tog, I'm gonna call it KV tog. So if not KV tog, then I'm just going to put tog. This is freaking me out. If the toggle's off, then we're in a key. So we can add to the key. So key is, we can add key. And the plus, I read someplace that the plus operator is actually the most efficient, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Actually, no, the key. Yeah, we can't pre-allocate a size, so we're gonna have to do an append. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, this might not work. I'm gonna have to fix it a little bit, but this is good practice. So if it's not in the toggle, then then it's okay. So if the toggle the key plus. All right. So the first thing we need to detect is if it's a delimiter. So that's the most important thing. So we'll kind of do a recursive descent here. So if it's a parser, um, so uh, so let's see, let's do a parser here. I mean, let's check for the delimiter. So if, and we could use a case statement here actually, you know, but it's all going to get compiled down. This stuff really truly is going to get compiled down, inlined, and all sorts of things. So if we do if C equals, and we have to use this notation, if C equals the delimiter, which is this, and I don't need to tokenize that or anything, we can just do it that way. So that if it equals it, if it's an equal sign, then we should be. I'm going to need to put all my error checking in later, but I'm just going to stick with each of the things in. If it's an equal sign, then we need to toggle it, right? So if it's an equal sign, then we're going to set the tog to true, because now true means we're in the middle of a value. False means we're in the middle of a key. This is unusual for a parser, which is why I'm having fun with it, because I only have like two states. That's it, and they're mutually exclusive, so I can get away with the semaphore kind of situation with this Boolean toggle. You couldn't do that if you're doing it otherwise. How's it going? So there. Now, firstly, though, we should say this. We should say, if I didn't have anything, so let's add all the error conditions later. There's a ton of error conditions that we need to add. So right here, we have it to do error condition, trap, empty key, error, empty key, error state. And we need, we need to do some balance checking up front. But if we get there, if we get this far, toggle equals true, and now we can iterate again. In fact, this is a time when sometimes they would use go to, and they would go to the top of the thing without forcing an iteration of the loop. But we can do that anyway. We can just do this, continue. So it can just trap it. That's our only delimiter. The only other state condition that we really need to check for is he's just kidding, I hope. That's fine. All right. Yeah. So, откуда у тебя еще один сын? Никого. Никуда. Никуда. All right. So if C, два сына из России, это сильно. Два сына из России. It'd be really strong if you had two sons from Russia. I don't. I do not. Yeah. So let's see. So let's do if we got C already. So if C equals, I could do this with a case statement if I really wanted. I mean, should we do a case statement? There's only two cases. I don't, I don't, well, I like switch statements and stuff. Let's do this. I mean, since this is a single token, we can do this case. We'll do that case. Oopsie. In case we get an R in there. And in case we get an N in there. Those are the only cases at all that we care about, so might as well do it this way. So what do we have now? We have if we have an R, it doesn't matter unless we have an N after it. So I probably need, yeah, I can do it. I can do a look ahead here and not be in trouble. I can do a look ahead here, I think. You start bounce checking. We need like a look ahead. So here we just have to say to do check next. So we need to make sure that there is a next one and we don't go reading off the end. Again, check next. And if it is this, then we can actually, in this case, we can fall through. Yeah. We can fall through here. I'm trying to show you all the stuff you can do here. All right, so and fall through. Otherwise, we are going to kind of ignore it. Yep. And otherwise, we just ignore it. Continue. And if it's an N, we set a line return state and toggle it back. This is all we have to do. It's a really quirky parser because we don't need it. So if it's at the end of a line return, we just have to, we automatically assume we want to set toggle back to false and continue. So we're just unzipping key values pairs in the code, and we're allowing one weird, situation with a line ending. Yeah, so we'll go with that way. So here we go. If it's not a toggle, I don't need to do this. So yeah, this is actually a pretty easy one. It's either being, and other than that, the only thing we're doing, honestly, is just adding to, yeah, we're just adding to either the key or the val. Yep. Oh, we're going to need to dump our buffer too. Equals val plus c. Oops. Continue. And val plus c. All right, that's it. That is it. So we need to do the bound. The bound check is really important now, because if we've read everything, then we're done. So I always wonder if the length of byte is hard coded. That does get inlined. I remember now. Okay, never mind. So we're gonna do that. Nice spaghetti code. This is not spaghetti code. This is way better than most would write. Mr. Spaghetti Code. How is this spaghetti code? This is not spaghetti code. You want to write it using your Ruby code with like one line of scanner that's already been written and all the spaghetti code is hidden. This is a parser. This is an actual parser. All right, fine. So I don't see you coding online because you're too fucking cowardly to do it. You're going to give me shit, I'm going to give you shit back. All right, we're done. This is a parser, and it's very dirty, and I just wrote it my first iteration. All right, so, and I want it to be like C. Yeah, I totally do. So this is sort of a recursive descent parser. All the continue stuff is based on recursive descents. And I actually really like that approach. I might not be doing it in the most elegant way, but I like it because it helps me mentally give it a shot. I feel like you get the stuff that you want to encounter first that has a higher priority. If you're actually implementing a parser that's represented in peg notation or pagan, the one I did, this is the way you do it. You put your higher priority things on the top, so they directly correspond to the things on the left of your parsing rules that you declare in pagan. And pagan is a meta language for writing parsers. So this kind of stuff is interesting. I linked list using core Python. tab width is, oh god. And whenever you're, oh god. Yeah, if you're gonna code. So yeah, there's lots of people talking about coding on Twitch. It would be great. We would love to have you. We would love to have you. There's lots of people who do it better than I do. There's no doubt about that. So much cleaner than if else. I agree, but in this case, I can't really do a switch. I guess I could do a switch. I mean, I could. I could do another switch here. Yeah, let's do a switch here. Yeah, I love switches too. You can't even do a switch in Python. Blank stare. I just don't understand it. Switch tog. Oh, I forgot to switch C up here. Oh, you know what you can do up here? I forgot too. You can do C equals, make it this less spaghetti. Less spaghetti like. Okay, well, now it doesn't even pass. Tog true, case false. If it's true, equals key plus C. You can't inline these, I wish you could. Bow. And if I wanted to, I could change the pointer to a different variable and really confuse the shit out of everybody. But that we're not going to do that. 115. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. It should let me do that. It must be. Oh, that's only type. I'm sorry. That's only type switching. I'm totally off. Yeah, you can only do that with type switching. I forgot. You can do the assignment up here. I thought it might make it more elegant, but no. So switch C and switch to tog. So that's cleaner. It's cleaner. It's not the cleanest, but it's cleaner. HTML is the only true programming language. These aren't even real programming languages. Yeah. All right. So I think that's it. And we have the implied continue there. I feel like we can't do fall through here. It would be cool if we could. But we can't. We have to have continues in all of those. Yep. All right. We got to do our bounds checking. We got to do our bounds checking. So, I mean, let me see if this will even compile. I don't think it will yet. Nope. Arguments are not enough arguments. Okay. Return M and nil. If everything goes well, we don't have any errors to report. Mishmash types byte and byte. Oh, right. Yep. Byte and byte. It's been a while. Oh, I'm trying to do plus. I'm going to have to do append. Yeah, I am. I didn't want to, but I'm going to have to. Yeah, because you can only do the pluses with the... This is the proper way to do it. So, yep. Oh, shit. It did it. It just didn't let go of it. Yeah. It did never end because we don't ever end. There's no way to detect the ending, so it's like an infinite loop. I had to stop it before my machine blew up. Let's see. Jeep Guy says, would you ever do a video on your setup and workflow? I've done a couple. It depends on what you mean by workflow. Are you talking about the streaming thing or just the coding and everything? That's all in my Boost for now. My old 2021 Boost videos, that covers all that. I make a workspace. You can go try it. You can try my space if you want. The best way to learn my workflow is to just go. Are you talking about the testing stuff? Yeah, it's my infinite loop. I'm still a terminal person. Yeah, I guess. Hopefully that'll be covered by the Boost because the Boost teaches how I do it. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's say I want to switch my stack to that. Let's say promise. Can you handle signals? Absolutely. You can trap them all. Yeah, it's all built in. The tool chain, I'm just using Go. Vim. Are you talking about how I'm editing? When you say tool chain, what do you mean? I'm using all Go tools. Every single thing I'm using is a Go tool, except for I have some bash scripts that wrap Go test, and they just loop it whenever whenever it detects a change to anything in the directory structure, it recompiles. I mean, it reruns the test. It's just a basic way to do it, and then I have that running in another window, and I use tmux for that. So, yeah, let's see. Let me read this because I've had this question a couple times, and if I do make the video, I don't want to miss the base. So I want to make sure I get everything in there. It says here, Mike says on Twitch, your operating system plus your editors plus your terminals plus your packages, etc. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I cover almost all of that in the boost videos. I didn't, and if other than tmux and I haven't done another video on tmux, and I've done a video on links, and yeah, the whatever, the shell native. I have a boost title coming up here called shell native, and that is an RWX shell native. It's like if you want to do stuff the way I do it, you know, that is going to be there. If it's not there, there's like tons of different videos out there you can go look at. If it's not there, it needs to be organized into one video. The reason I'm struggling is because I probably need to do an overview video that ties all the pieces together, because I've covered all the individual pieces in different places, but I haven't done an overview of like, here's all of the pieces and where they fit into my workflow, my daily stuff, right? And that's a pretty moving target. So I'm thinking I should probably do like 1 10-minute video that just covers that, so that it gets you, when you want to go do the research on the things, you can just know what to research. You don't get stuck in the details. So I need to do a video like that. I should probably do that tonight. But yeah. I would like to include in that video things like whether I'm going to use GCC or CLang for, C compilation, but I haven't done any C coding in years. I mean, like serious C coding. I don't even think I can remember basic things in C at all. Like serious. I coded Perl for 15 years, and I could not code a line of Perl when I got back into Perl for like some months back, because I rediscovered it as a bash replacement. Then I went back to bash because it's just as powerful as Perl for most things. And then I went back to, I couldn't do Perl at all. I had to relearn it. And that was when I discovered that it was more important for me to keep bash in my memory than Perl, because Perl meant I had to keep 2 languages in my memory, even though they're both really great. It's the same reason I don't have C and Go in my head right now, or Rust. Rust would just fuck me up because it's got so much bullshit syntax. Oh, I fucking hate Rust syntax. So I can only load so many languages like right at my fingertips in my head all the time, which is why I'm coding Go on the weekends again, because I don't have any desire. I mean, Quentin was saying this. It's not desire. I don't have any demand for me to code and Go at work right now, because I'm the operations person. Even though I think that they should move some of their tooling to Go, and then we eventually will do that. So, yeah. Misogynistic through Rust for last year. Yeah, and masochistic, not misogynistic. You'd love that overview video. Yeah, I should probably do that. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing wrong, nothing bad to say about people who want to test out Rust and find their use cases, but stop telling people that they shouldn't code in anything but Rust. That's bullshit. I mean, I don't even say that. I don't even say that about Go. I'm like, pick the right language for the job. Rust is never the right language for most jobs. Web development, yeah, I was Nike's webmaster for 3 years. That's how I got into this. I was doing front end stuff, and then I was always doing back end. At that time, front end stuff meant you did back end stuff because you had to write Perl on the back end because there was no JavaScript. And then JavaScript came, and I and moved into Linux system administration stuff. Got a job doing that. Yeah, I was that old. Anybody else remember no JavaScript? It should be JavaScript. JavaScript's not going anywhere. I wish it would. Dude, you have no idea how much we railed on JavaScript when it came out. All the entire web world was people who could code Perl. It was either Perl, C, or Shell, which meant you'd have massive. Yeah, we were totally dinosaurs. I know. I know. I'm definitely a dinosaur. I know you're kidding, but I'm a dinosaur. I mean, at the time, seriously, people were writing back end web code in C. That was the choice you had. You had C, Bash, or Perl. Perl is riddled with web-based security flaws. Can you imagine handling user input directly with Bash code or Z shell or any shell code? Can you imagine that? You think SQL injection is the thing? All of that horrible shell code with globstar expansion and everything was being passed directly from form values. Simplified, writing good, accurate code. I agree, but and then he says, so you got to understand. At the time, I mean, we're doing Go now, but at the time, Perl was the best of multiple evils. Who the fuck wants to write, a form processor in C? Right, and there were tons of libraries on it and stuff. That was it. And so Perl was the only thing. It was the only thing. This is why Perl was never intended to do that. Perl was always just a shell scripting language, And then Perl gets thrown under the bus all the time now as being this and that and this. And you know what? Perl had taint checking. No other language has it. So, you can say what you want, but that was how stuff got done. And the thing of it is that all the people that were doing web development, you were either back in the 90s, you were either a web designer, which meant you knew HTML. There was no CSS, remember? No CSS. So you knew HTML until CSS came out, in which case, hey, there was a little bit of CSS. But CSS came out after JavaScript came out. So if back in the day, you were either a web designer, PCRE, that's what I'm saying. That's why Perl dominated the world. Or you were a coder. And if you were a coder, that meant you were a back-end web developer. That all you did is generate HTML based on what somebody told you to do. Yeah, there's tons of Perl backends. We have a huge one. In my work right now, we have a massive Perl backend system. Yeah, thousands of lines of Perl. So, develop JavaScript. Yeah, that whole thing about it taking 10 days to develop JavaScript because it was pretty much Lisp. Yeah, I've read that blog many times. It's pretty impressive, but it's also disastrous. So you can understand when JavaScript came out and all the designers jumped on board. We had a bunch of designers that wanted to get on board with it, right? Make their stuff spin and everything. And there was no, GIFs had kind of been accidentally discovered. GIFs are an accident, by the way. You know that, right? Animated GIFs are a total accident. They were never intended to do what they're doing, that animated GIF thing. It was all based on the fact that GIFs can be interlaced so that you could bring in a blurry image and then get better with it and hone it in and make it pretty. They used all the internal structure of the GIF specification to do that same thing to create animation frames instead of doing what they're supposed to do, which is bring in a really blurry image and then clean it up as you go. That's what GIFs have always been meant to do. That's why they're fucking monstrously huge compared to, just a tiny little video that does the same thing. If you haven't looked at it, go look at it, but that's where GIFs came from. Everybody in the early web days was all about finding ways to break other shit to get it to work, to do what it needed to do. Perl was never intended to be used for the web, ever. All the stuff that came after that. And then JavaScript, of course, was just Lisp really fast. He was given a gun to his head, make something work. And it was an accident. GIF was an accident. Animated GIFs were never intended to be animated. Ever. They still aren't. Doesn't matter. It does. Dude, go look at the size of a GIF, of an animated GIF that is the same size as an MPG movie or an MOV file or anything. Go look at a compressed video file that covers the same number of frames, if not more frames, in a GIF versus it. The reason for that is because GIF is atrociously bad at animation. Doesn't matter. The world doesn't care. They've decided that's what we're going to use, so we got to use it. So, you know, but it was an accident. It was a total accident. Nobody here remembers it, but you would wait. I was young, right? But you would wait. You would wait like 5 minutes for your porn to be viewable, because you would have a GIF picture. You would have a GIF come in. It would be all really blurry, and you could see, sort of the outline of boobies and stuff. And some people probably remember this. And you could see that it was kind of there, right? And then it would like clean up line by line. It would clean up line by line, and it would get more detail. And you're like, oh, okay, now we're talking. I kid you not. That's exactly what happened. Dopamine. I mean, there was no animation going on. I mean, you guys like click on a picture of anything or a movie, and it loads in half a second or less. It's crazy. But I mean, the people remember this. This is the time. So I think that I'm going to make the case that gifs were created for porn. I have no evidence of that, but to suggest that I have no evidence to suggest that, but I think that I sincerely 56K modem, baby. Yeah. Honey, it'll help me with my work. I need a modem that'll help me with my work more efficiently. Where's those gifts? On UUCP, on alt, whatever the fuck. Do you guys remember? Do you remember all the alt UUCP news groups? Yeah, there was no porn on the internet back then. No, I mean, sorry, there was no porn on the interwebs. There was no porn on the web. It hadn't happened yet. All the porn was in news groups. It was in news groups. You like pull in the wrong news group. That was where it all was. Yeah, it's still there, I think, but I don't. It's too. I mean, God, these days. Johnny with his new 56K modem is like, you can picture him in his room waiting for like literally 15 minutes for one high resolution and GIF image, not animated. Yeah, well, I mean, we don't need to hide from that. That's part of humanity. So anyway, let's move on. Maybe it's time for me to take a break. It felt like magic. It's magic. Why does that Beach Boys song come to mind? In my room. You know that song? Yeah. That song's about masturbation. That Beach Boys song is about masturbation. Sorry to burst your bubble. It is. That's exactly what it's about. So, I know some of you are uncomfortable, so we'll move on. Anyway, bounce checking. Trap, let's see, to do key trap, empty key error. World wouldn't be the same again. Yes. Yes, no. No, no, no. Let's see, check if next is blah. I don't want to check if next if there isn't one though. So we have to do len. Let's do this. Let's say we forgot to add to C is what we forgot. Now up here I could do C++. If I wanted, I guess I could do this. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think here. So C is less than length of B. And we're going to have to put C up here if we're going to do this. Go 0. Fine. Oh no, this is I. What am I talking about? It's I. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. God, I haven't done a for loop in Go like this, like a real for loop, in a long time. I apologize for my idiocy. Yeah. But we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, you know what? I don't even really need C. I can just do BI. Yep, I can do BI. Yep, 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 yep. I want a programming language where someone does something very different with semicolons and go Python. Yeah, automatic semicolon injection. Yeah. Any good Windows terminal emulator? Uh, I just use the new generation one. I like it. That's mine that I like. BI. I started learning Go. How do you get better programming problems? I'm solving skills is really bad. Well, it takes time. Me too. Yo,
I'm leaving.
you're leaving.
I'm leaving. Going to scout my new office.
Okay. I know you look all fancy and pretty. I have to take a break.
Boots.
I have to take a break and look at my wife's new boots, etc.
That sounds so lame.
My dog's in here. I have to warn her every time. I was like, you can stay in here, but it's going to get hot because these lights are on. My wife left, so she's all freaked out. She's like, I'm going to stay with you now. And sleep my Saturday away. And she's like, that's only because you won't go run with me or play frisbee. She didn't hear that. If she'd heard that, she would have been up immediately. I refreshed my coffee too. Tomorrow is date day for me and my wife. So that means tomorrow afternoon I will not be on. Might be on tomorrow night a little bit. Who knows what I'll be doing. Just letting everybody know. I had to adjust my schedule. I was going to do that today earlier, but I didn't want to waste everybody's time. As if what I've been doing so far is not wasting your time. All right, here we go. We're doing the parsing. We can't test now because, actually, no, we probably have a limit enough to do the test now without it crashing. Yeah, we do. Got nil. Because why? Because we didn't add our key values to it. So as soon as we switch back over, we need to add our value to it. So, let's see, check if and fall through. We'll just stick with this for now. This is fix this later. Toggle truth. Okay, trap empty key error. So if we hit that, then we get the value. When we get done parsing the value, then toggle equals false. So back to key state. Toggle equals true. Set in value state. I don't know. I'm just putting notes for people who don't know what's happening here, because I don't want to confuse you. You don't need the index. Well, that's the thing about the ranging. I think the range, I was going to use the range operator, but the reason I didn't use the range operator is because when you range, you can't advance the counter. Yeah, you're just telling me you don't need the index. Yeah, this is my default. So, Frank, I completely agree with you on that. Can you believe that? 100% agree. So Frank's made a suggestion, which, he and I fight all the time. But in this particular case, when I went into it, there's two ways to parse a byte slice. You can range over it, or you can do your own scan, right? And my default when I'm writing a parser is to use a for loop because, first of all, you can't range in C. And secondly, when you use the range operator, you don't have an indicator of where you are. You cannot, as far as I know, you know what? I wonder. Because what about the underscore? So, okay. So another way you could have done this is like this. Maybe we're ahead of ourselves here, but so the moral of the story is this. You can get away with using range if you don't need your index. You see how I'm just adding it on the thing? If you need to fuck with the index at all, if you need to like add 3 to it because one of your tokens is more than 1 byte wide, then you need an index. And I don't think that can be done with a range operator. Values that you don't need out, right? So, yeah, I guess you could. No, but you can't read ahead though. I mean, I guess you could. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stick with a for loop, but I think the range operator would work fine too here as well. I do. This is very C-like, so I'm gonna keep it that way. Just for now, because we already have it that way. You totally could do the range operator though. The range operator would work. The other thing about the range operator though, so we might throw out this whole thing and say, I want to convert the byte slice into a string. And if you do that, then you get Unicode ranging automatically. And that's a topic that we definitely need to talk about Go. Go is super good at that. Go ranges over as user rate. Idiomatic Go? No. I don't agree with that at all. Go look at the standard language Go parser. It doesn't use a range operator, I promise you. It does not. No, when you get really, look, when you're talking about user land code, yes. When you're talking about low level parsers, no, right? So, um, so yeah. This, what I'm doing right here, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is broken when dealing with Unicode. This entire C code, like Go, is 100%. So I was trying to illustrate from the very beginning if you were here. Uh, yeah, for userland stuff. But that's what I'm trying to illustrate. This isn't userland stuff. I want to write like a parser that's not in userland. You might as well recommend that I use the text scanner, which everybody has already done. It's not that I don't know how to do that. I'm trying to help people understand. Yeah, I know you did. I'm trying to help people understand what the C version of this would look like, sort of, right? So, so this is the C version. There's no range operator because C doesn't have a range operator, and I mean this is extremely efficient. It's totally fine to write this in Go, um, but if you want to write, so yeah. Hmm. So we want to look at the next thing um, for this. Now, if you're going to do idiomatic Go, you probably shouldn't even use range at all, and you should just use the scanner. So that's what I'm going to do, because I swear to God, every single person who reads this code is going to go, why'd you do it that way when you could have just done text scan or scanner, just like everybody on the stream. I'm trying to show you that you can do it this way, though. So you can actually just iterate through and add, and we would trap the error there. And go. The absolute fastest way to write this is to just scan each line, split the line on equals, and be done. That is it. And so I'm now going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and try this out and go ahead and do that because otherwise I'm going to catch shit for this forever. This is actually just as fine. It's probably a tiny order of magnitude more efficient to do it this way than to do, use the idiomatic Go standard libraries and stuff like that. But somebody looking at that would think that this is the way to do it. If you're going to do this in Bash, by the way, this is the way to do this. If you make a bunch of sed splits and shit and awk like that, you're doing it wrong. Because you can write a parser like this in Bash, and I have. You can go look at my Markdown parser in Bash. That does this. That does this. You can write a parser that does this, and it advances and it goes through the different things and everything. So yeah. So this is the C like really raw way to do it. No, they're not. I already researched that. I already benchmarked all that. Yeah, the append. The plus is actually more efficient than the append, which is why I was trying to get away with that. Yeah, there's so this is something, I'm just going to put it out there. Anytime you're shying away from the plus operator for joining strings, first of all, the plus operator doesn't work unless you cast it. I can actually use the plus operator here, but if I do, I have to make this can't be a byte anymore. This actually has to be a byte slice of 1. So I would have to do that. But the moral of the story is that the plus operator, when joining slices, is faster than append. So yeah, but it would be fun. I mean, we could probably benchmark it, but the argument for not writing your own low level parser is because somebody's probably already done it better than you, even if it's slightly slower and it's going to be easier to maintain, blah, blah, blah. So that's the reason to do that. But I love parsers in general, so I wanted to see what it would look like in C. Also, because we're going to do this, I said all this at the beginning of the video, but there's a lot of people here who weren't here for the beginning of the video. At the beginning of the video, I said this video is going to be about how to do this in C so that this exercise can be propagated over from a C exercise. So this conf-go thing, I want to do a conf-C version as well for a C programming exercise. And we will do raw, and then we'll use whatever library packages is available to us in C. And then when we port it to Go, we'll port it directly to Go, and then we'll by the way, let's go look at the internals of the scanner that do this very same thing. And we can actually do that right now. and use those instead of jumping right to the high-level userland functions, which are part of the standard library. So that was always the intent of this video. So since everybody's getting on my case, we're going to go ahead and jump right to the fast way to do this. All right. So this is kind of the shell way to do this, if you want to think of it that way. So the shell way to do this would be to just set up a scanner. So was it for? I think it's no, it's for scan. I'm gonna have to go look up my idiom. Scanner dot scan. Yeah, it's a standard way to read lines, and I actually have it in my snippets. I just don't remember where. So we have to read each line. It's one of the most. This is unfortunately really hard for beginners to find, and I have a hard time with it too. I have to look it up every time. You think it would just be like while read line, right? No, it's not. The most idiomatic way to read lines from a file or any source is to use the line scanner, which is the default. And it is one of the answers on Stack Exchange, but it's not necessarily even the best. And I don't think I even have it here. So I have a million versions of it. So it's a matter of me going to find the one that I want to do. So let's just do this Golang. I'm going to do this searching for you so you can find it yourself. You can go read about it. Scanner. There's 3 different scanner packages in Go. There's text scanner. There's the scanner that Go uses itself for its own parser, which is really cool. You should go read it. And it's the scanner package. Yeah. I mean, let's look at this one. So the idea of a scanner is actually a thing from regular how to do this in C, writes it in Go. No, you do it in C first and then you write it in Go. That's the point. I'm preparing everything that I write in order to prepare it to be able to be written in C as an exercise. That's something Frank doesn't understand about me. I think of every single thing I do in terms of how can I teach this to a beginner in order, right? And so I wanted to see what the C code in Go would look like first before then I go and do the thing. So if you don't believe me, search my stuff. You can see. So so here's the scanner. So here's an example of how to use the scanner. So a scanner is a word from computer science where you just scan through a number of tokens. Okay. Now it's really important we talk about tokens in this particular sense because I don't want to get into the terminology of what token and lexeme and what lexing and tokenizing. There's so many different terms for that, and it can get really confusing. And normally in regular parsing, there's 2 passes, and this is the CS stuff that I actually really enjoy. I've got the book actually right over there. But I like to combine the 2 into one, and you're able to do that more today than ever. Particularly with Peg, because Peg has infinite look ahead. It doesn't have a single automaton kind of restrictions, which only allow you to look at one thing at a time, which forced us into 2 passes through the data, one to create the tokens and one to then, syntax stitch your tokens to where they're going. I have not been wasting your time, Jeep guy. I learned the origins of GIF. So scans the next token, the source end is indicated by the identifier. Okay, so and that's what these things are. These things are the tokens. The token doesn't necessarily see how we have token.string. So that's like that has literals in it that compromise the string. So this makes me want to go work on Pagan. Is Quint still here? I want to work on Pagan again. I love it. Ugh, I had so much fun to code that. If the return token is a semicolon, do this, blah blah blah. So there's actually a built-in scanner that just takes care of line returns. And they have all these extra ones here, but, initialize the scanner. So we create a scanner, and where is it? So then you have, no, we're not going to do that version. That's a complex scanner. We're just going to do a line scanner. Yeah, so, this is what you would find on the internet. Read one line at a time. So this is what you would find if you were searching on the internet. Run command with timeout. Golang, no, how to read a file starting from a specific line. So there you go. Call scanner.scan 30 times. So this is one of these things like you would probably have to commit to memory, which I haven't. Um, I think buff.io. No, that hasn't been deprecated. It was only IO util. So you create a new scanner and then you scan. And every time you scan, it loads up the buffer scanner.text, and then you have to call it. The reason there's probably a lot of optimization going on by the compiler by inlining all this stuff, but I happen to think that it's slower than the low-level scanner that I was doing, which is fine because this is userland scanning. Who gives a shit? But still, it's a little bit not as good. So you can do this. You can do scanner scanner equals the buff.io dot new scanner. Actually, there's another one called string scanner. Yeah, this is gonna return an IO reader. Input file equals open. Yeah, so you have to open the file. You can do this without this. There's a one that will read from a file, but we don't want to read from a file. We want to read from anything. Buff.io new scanner takes a reader, I'm pretty sure. Let's go check. You want to pass it a reader, an IO reader. And I don't have a reader. So I'm gonna have to do a byte reader here because of this buffer. I might have to do that. So let's go look up what buff.io does. So Golang buff.io, and we'll go look for a new scanner. I'm almost positive it takes. Oh yeah, it takes. I'm almost positive it takes an IO reader, in which case I'll have to make a byte reader and pass it to it. So this stuff was always reminiscent to me of it's just like a basic reader. We don't want that. We want something scan words. You can scan words as they're separated by white space. And I think the white space delimiting also includes things that are not just space and tab. It's stuff like something in the higher Unicode code planes that indicates like separation of words and stuff. It's another reason to use the standard things instead of writing your own, because sometimes these things are using Unicode aware kind of things. And sometimes that might surprise you, though. Maybe you wouldn't expect somebody to put. There's a lot of Unicode characters for like delimiting lines and words and stuff that are not in the standard ASCII key set. Scan words, get words. Yep. We need to. What I want to do is pass. I don't want any of this. I want the actual stuff. I want some fucking developer interpretation. I want the code, the stuff. And I could look this up from the command line as well, but it usually is the first hit. It's started to not be the first hit lately, which is kind of interesting. There it is. Bytes new reader. That's what I was looking for. That's what I want. So we're going to do bytes new reader, B, and that'll give us our scanner. And then we are going to scan forever, and I'll just break when we're done scanning. So we'll go ahead and scan one. We could actually say while scan does not equal end of file or something. So yeah, for s.scan. Yeah, we got to do the scan. I forgot about that. Yeah, for s.scan. And otherwise that's going to return end of file. Then we're going to body equals append. And so, I mean, I could have made it do key value pairs, but this is just going to do the line scanning. And scanner.text equals line. We're going to have to go ahead and fetch the buffer. I didn't want to do this, but this is a lot of stuff that's unnecessary. It's kind of user space stuff, but this is the way to do it at this level in user land. Hello. I love to code. Even when I have people making fun of me. If you can learn by not being me, and do it a different way or whatever. As long as it brings you joy. So we have a line here. And we need to split the line, obviously. So that's actually not hard. The problem with splitting the line now. So by the way, the line, this thing truncated the line ending, whether it was a control, a backslash R or a backslash N, a control. This s.scan is aware of that. It knows how to do that. And somebody was complimenting me on grabbing the backslash R, the carriage return in my in my parsing in the C kind of like version I was doing earlier. And they were saying, hey, it's good. Usually people don't catch that. They absolutely don't. And that makes a case further for using the user space stuff, right? Because a lot of these things have already been considered. There's other line endings, by the way, besides that. So within the Unicode standard, I don't know that those are supported by this particular scanner, but you can. And you have more direct control over the scanner if you want to. By the way, you can make your own scanner and give it its own tokenizer if you want to get your own token set. If you're going to write, so this is actually, Frank mentioned earlier in C, string toke, str toke, and that is kind of one of the things that you can do with the scanner here. You can kind of use that to say, you can define what your tokens are, what constitutes a token, and then pass that off to the scanner, and then the scanner will iterate over all the tokens. And then you can just ask yourself, what token do I have? So that takes the bulk of the work out of, the scanning part of parsing and syntax checking and doing whatever you want to do. So it is pretty cool. What if I have a multi-line config value? Then you better fucking escape it on your own. I'm not escaping it for you. No, this is a very specific format that I want to use. The reason it's been forced to be simple like that is because I want to be able to parse it from anything very easily. I can do it with parameter expansion using bash. I don't even have to look. I don't even have to deal with line returns because I'm guaranteed to never have a line return. And I put that in the interface spec. So if somebody goes to try to use it, all right. So we have a line. So now we just need to split the line. There's two ways to do this. I'm a little afraid of not having a key value if we do it the wrong way. And I don't know if we want to use a byte splitter. I think line is actually automatically a string in this case. Yeah, let me go check. Body equals append. Yeah, it is. It's a string. So it does the string cast for you as well as reading the bytes in there. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll throw an error. We should do some breakage on this. We should do some fuzzing with binary data and see what it does, just to see if you can break it. Is the fuzzer available yet? Can I go get it? Can I import it? The fuzz tester. I know it's out there, but I think I have to import if I'm going to do it. Yeah, I want to do some fuzzing on the possible values. You guys know what I'm talking about? Fuzzing is when you like pass like tons of random shit to something to try to break it really quickly, and it's a good way to find 0-day bugs and stuff like that. But it's actually being added to the standard test framework for Go. Yeah, testing.fuzz or something. And I want to do it for values. I want to fuzz potential values, different possible values. So, scanning various examples of scanners in multiple ways. Yeah. So, no, we're not going to do that. All right. So, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it is a string. I could just do strings.split. Let's see. So, Golang strings split. So I also don't allow white space around my equal sign. So this is meant to be a really simple, easy to parse configuration file thing. Because I parse it a lot. 5 different ways to split a string and Go. 5 different ways. Use the split function from strings.split. That's what I was looking for. It's probably the easiest, but the split end function. No, we don't want that. No. Split -1. Regexes. No, fuck no. If we were doing it in Perl, that's how we would do it. Does this put them all on separate pages? Okay, no. Golang splitting with splitter sprint end. No, that's a no. We already said that. Split using white space. No. Fields. I don't think I knew about that one. I feel educated. That's cool. This is exactly the equivalent of the good old, bash splitting with arguments. I like that because that means I can more directly port this stuff over. Mm, that was worth the read right there. I'm glad I found that. String split without removed delimiters. Now we want split after. No, don't want that either. Don't want that. Split after. No, no, no. Regex. No, fuck no. I love me a good regex, but they are monstrously inefficient. Do not use a regex where a split will work. Um, assuming there's a line here, and I could probably just inline this whole thing. No, because I might want to debug it later. I wonder if that would save me some memory allocation for that. No, it would still be returned anyway. And it's a localized variable, so it'll probably get inlined anyway. Okay. So um yeah. I'm trying to combine these into one already, so we're not gonna do that. Let's just do I'll just do f equals strings split on equals. This is also why, and I thought it was weird. It's weird that they have the split is a string and not a byte. And I think it uses every one of the string elements as a potential delimiter. So you can actually put a space there if I remember right. But we're going to split the line, and that'll give us f into fields. Build with Golang. Anything in the cloud native stuff. You can do pretty much anything you could do with Python and Java and C and Go. That's why it was made. Yep. So why am I shiny? Am I actually shiny? Am I shiny? Is it because I have oil on me or because I'm happy? What does shiny mean? Tell me what shiny means. Is something different with my video? Mickey, hey, good morning, Patrick. All right, so let's do this. Let's add an M key, F1. Yep, no, F0, sorry. Well, we have to, if it doesn't split, we're gonna, see, here's the question. Do I throw it out or do I throw an error, right? So yeah. So if the length of f is not equal to, it should be exactly 2, then throw an error, return f dot error f. Let's see, %v, and we'll do line. Oh, don't need that. Okay, so we could say invalid line. And I can't tell them what line it is unless I put a counter. I could put I mean, let's get fancy. I'll put like about an n here, and we'll count the lines as we go. So we'll just do n equals 0. I mean, why not? N equals 0. Actually, n equals 1. And we'll do n plus plus. Yep. All right. Now it'll just die. What's up? Wow, we got a lot of comments there on Twitch. Hi, Bolvarstadt. I'm gonna try out Linux on this PC. I was worried about the process of switching back to Windows. It's not hard. If it had Windows before, you can usually put Windows back on it. You can just download it. Or so the install process of Linux. Do you have any good guides for it? No, I don't. And I talked about that at length on Friday because I stopped helping people put Linux on their hardware sometime back because of the whole virtual machine thing and because of the container thing. So I'm going to give you a couple tips really quickly. If you're going to put Linux on your hardware, number one, don't use Balena Etcher, but find the Balena Etcher substitute. Use that to create your images. You need to download 2 images and make 2 USB sticks, and you should have them around with you all the time. One of the USB sticks should be the latest Windows. And you can get the latest, there's 2 ways to get the latest Windows. You just go out to the site, you'll find it. You can download the USB images, you have to look for it. It's totally free, you don't have to pay for it. Everybody likes Rufus. I don't like Rufus at all. It doesn't do the same validation checks, so I'm not a fan of Rufus. A lot of people like it. I do not like it. And do not I'm strongly going to recommend against the dual boot. The reason I don't like dual boots is because you can't distro hop because you as easily. I guarantee you, I've seen it so many times. Theoretically, it's possible, but I've seen so many people destroy their computers by, or one or more of the Windows or the other one by continuing to go back and forth. Just buy or find an old computer, put Linux on that, keep Windows on. Don't cross your streams. I did it in my lab because I knew what I was doing and I was using Mint. Mint has a really great, way of doing it. Everybody thinks that they want to be a dual booter until they get hit with it. That's fine. You do what you want, but I'm telling you, I recommend against it. I recommend keeping, because it just makes it so much easier for you to re-image it all the time. Let's say you don't like this version, you want to re-image. Boom, re-image it. You don't have to go into your partition thing and make sure you get the right partition, everything when you're doing your reinstalls. So just don't do that. Yeah, WSL2 is pretty good. It does have problems. WSL2 sucks over VPN over AnyConnect with Cisco, which is my problem with WSL2. If they finally get over that problem, I'll be love to have it. The only way around that is to not use the standard VPN software from I'd have to use some non-standard software to do that, which you can do. People do it all the time. So that's right. Yeah. The problem is that whenever somebody says, "Hey, I want to put Linux on my computer for the first time," and I'm a little nervous, everybody throws shit at them that's not beginner friendly, like dual booting. So I have a problem with that. If you're trying to do this and you want to feel safe about doing it, use really happy, easy tools like the Balena Etcher replacement. Download the images, have those on file, and then be able to do your install straight from the images, and then just accept the defaults. Another thing about not dual booting is you can just accept the defaults on a Mint or a Pop! OS install, and you don't have to deal with anything else. And a lot of people who like Linux will say, well, that's stupid because you're not learning anything about Linux while I do that. And that's like, yes, that's the point though. We're trying to have, small successes here. Somebody just wants to run Linux native on their hardware. That's the only goal here. The goal isn't to learn about Linux right now. The goal is to get Linux on your hardware. Different goals. If you want to understand all the complexities of disk mounting and partitioning and all that shit, that's fine, but that's not the time to do it. If you're going to do that, do it within a containerized or a virtual environment so that you can fuck around with everything and make big changes and break shit all the time without blowing away your hard drive. So that's my recommendation. You do what you want. Yeah. Did you have that same issue with WSL2? Yeah. What's up, Sam? What are you doing, girl? My dog is doing yoga. She's doing down dog. I kid you not. Come here. Come here. Come here, you. Come here. Are you afraid I'm going to pick you up or something? Because I am. Come here. Come here. Come by me. I want to show you to the guys. To the people. Why are you yawning? Come here. Come here. She's like, no, she's not having it. She's not having it. You're going to pick me up. I know I love you, but you're being weird and I'm allergic to her. Okay, so I mean, what is more spaghetti code? This or the other one? Right? This is the idiomatic way to do parsing in user land applications. Patrick from YouTube says, I think this weekend I'm going to slim down my vimRC. I don't really use half the plugins I have. Thank God. I approve of this message. Me too. Did you see what I did? Oh, while you're at it, Patrick, add a bunch of conditionals in there to make sure that it works with vimtiny. Yeah, I did a video on that. I did a video on how to make your vimRC work with vimtiny so that if you get on like a Jupyter Hub image or some standard image that doesn't have a full version of Vim, it'll still work without throwing a cajillion errors. You might want to look at that. It's super interesting. And that way you have a single vimRC to rule them all. You don't have to like continue fucking around with it and have one for different systems. You just SCP it over or whatever, QCP or any of the number. Anyway, this actually looks like it's going to work. So we just need to set the M val. So F0 equals F1, and we should be good. Let's see what our tests are going to say now. That actually should be it. We shouldn't need much more than that. Not enough arguments. Oh, what did I do? MapStruct does not support indexing. Oh, right. It's the internal thing, which I can see because I'm an internal implementation. So it's good for me to do that. All right. So that means I have to do m.m. M.m, yeah. I mean, I could go through the interface, but this is faster. So, and it's all part of the same thing. So I don't mind accessing the private method, the private members of that struct fields, whatever you call them, depending on your parlance. There's so many different terms for everything. Like a struct field is a member to the object-oriented people. And it's just insane. True or false? Accessors are the same as mutators. People call getters and setters all the time by the wrong name. It just drives me nuts. They do it all the time. They say, oh, they're all accessors. No, they're not. There's accessors and mutators. Yeah, anyway. I missed something. Why not os.read file? Because I don't want to read the whole file. I mean, I could read the whole... The scanner does that already. So this is actually just parsing bytes. This isn't reading the whole file. Yeah. Because I want to be able to pass byte strings that come from other sources, including, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to be able to construct new maps from just byte buffers, and then you can read the byte buffer. There will be one that does that. I'll have like a read. I have not read, but load. Yeah, this is going away. But the loader will. I mean, I should probably make loader be able to take a file name. Maybe I'll change this to read anyway. I don't know. Save. What's the opposite of save? Load, right? Open. Pick a good verb there. Pick a verb, any verb. It's going to be used a lot though, so. But it's not parse. Parse gets you a new one. No, actually read and load need to be functions. They don't need to be, they're not methods at all. That would be manipulating an existing one, which we're not doing. So edit, edit. Edit is also not a method. I don't know why I did that. Editable. Nope, don't need that. Another reason I always say don't write your documentation too much ahead in advance. I don't need that. I need a saver. Yeah, I almost feel like I could keep, now these days I'm kind of tripping on making save a function instead of a method. Because then, yeah, I am going to do that. Definitely going to do that because everything else is a function that just takes a map struct. Yeah, I'm gonna dumb down my struct and get rid of some of its methods and then make them all into functions instead. Opposite of save is delete. It would be read and write, right? So I should probably not have save. I would probably call it write. I don't know. We'll revisit the naming later. So we're gonna scan it in, and that should give us a function. So map string elder undefined S64 editable. Yeah, I'm trashing a bunch of stuff I shouldn't be messing with right now. I'm doing 2 commits at once, which is a big bad thing to do. And I don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing. Get done with one change, commit it, and then do your other cleanup. Commit that. Don't see it and do it in the middle. It's messy. Yeah, that's bad. Don't do what I did. Not enough arguments to return. So because I didn't have to fix all this other shit that was related to another commit, and now it's all going to be on the same single commit. It's not going to make sense. So bad me. SSC enough arguments to return. Oh, scanner. Right. Not enough arguments to return. 103. Return. Oh, right. Nil. We return nil, and that standard procedure, standard idioms to do that. Hey, look, we got something that sort of worked. Trying to install. It got PTSD from trying to install Arch a bunch last years ago, and the manual was really big and scary. Try Manjaro this time. You weren't here last night for my railing on Guess Manjaro. I should personally go into that video and copy all that shit out about Manjaro and once and for all put the rest. Manjaro is such shit. I have so many friends who use it, but it is such shit. Trim last line, I think. Yeah. I don't no, you know what it is we're not checking for the scan. There's something wrong with our value. Something in nil. It actually added something here. Oh, if the line's empty. Yeah, we didn't catch that condition. So yeah, if the line is empty, we're done. Yep. Yeah. Corner case with n++. I actually think it's because it's getting to this line. So I don't think it's just the n++ because this is the true state, right? So we can do this. We can say if line equals empty string, which is not too heavy of a check. And then break. I know I don't see how this is any less spaghetti than the other stuff. Wait, what do I have there? Well, it must have had something in it. Let's see. Is not equal to return error. Okay. I mean, it's because you don't check for line emptiness. I did check for line emptiness, though. It's right here. There's some other situation going on here. I need to print this. So empty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not immediately obvious to me, so I have to print it. Oops, sorry. Line. Yep. Oh, line foo, line bar. It's gotta be, maybe it's in my test. Oh, it is. I wonder if it's reading an empty line. I think it is. A file ending for scanner is new line. Right. Well, so what it's reading this line and then it's still getting another one. Yep. So it's interesting. This suggests that it's actually reading another line. I think I might have grabbed the wrong example. Yeah. So yeah. It's doing what it's supposed to. Do. This, no, scanner.scan, this is a true false already. Yeah, I'm using Populous. This is already a true false. So yeah, because the end of line is a false condition. I think this scanner is off a little bit. So let me go branch. I don't think I've committed everything to this one, so I can't switch the branches. Otherwise, I would. Let me check something. Yeah. No, I'm not making a Viper alternative. Viper's shit. I refuse to use anything. Viper is absolute shit. Please, I don't want to talk about anything that's involving Cobra or Viper. I hate it. You're like, well, that was quite of a visceral reaction. I hate it for a million reasons I've written about that I'm not going to get into right now because I'll just get angry. I'll get really angry. Pomo, nope. Clip, nope. Command, YT, nope. Let's do command box dash tstamp twitch z config. We already did that. Greet, already did that. Command box dash go. Wait, where's my command box? Is it go dash command box? I think it is. Where the fuck is my command box stuff? Oh, well. Do 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 do. There we go. Yep, for scanner.san, that's how you do it. So util.umph.go. Nope. Umph.go. Go look at some other code I wrote that did this already. Just because I'm being lazy. There's all my escapes and everything. Scanner's got to scan. New scanner, new reader. There we go. Text scan trimmed. I think the line return is already trimmed. I want to say it is anyway. Here's just another scanner parser I did. If the length of trim is greater than 0. I wonder if it's not trimmed. I wonder if that's the reason. I bet it is. I bet it is. No, it's not because we checked the line. That was fine. Continue in raw block. In raw block. Continue. In block. Length of trim equals false. In block is false. Flush last block. Application. Nope. Huh. I don't know, man. Something funny going on there. Write your own config paste based on Toml. Yeah. I made the Toml logo. Yeah. I got the commit history to prove it. It's really lame. It was kind of a joke. I have to go for a second. right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't like the whole idea of command line hashes anyway, which makes me very unpopular. People don't like that, but I don't like it. Some of the really simple thing I'm missing, I don't know what it is right now, so we're gonna figure it out. The n++ is just incrementing by n, but that doesn't really add anything. The problem I'm having right here is that it's actually adding a nil value. It's actually reading a key that doesn't exist. And I think the reason is because there is a line, but it's an empty line. I think that's the reason. But it didn't switch on that, so I don't know what's up. So if line, because I mean that would mean something's in the line value, and we didn't print it. If we printed it out there, it would have printed it. If we put a Q here, we should get everything. So let's try them again. No, that's not it. Yep. So line foo bar. See, it's doing it right. It's getting lines. It's just got one extra thing that it's printing out at the end. It's adding another key value pair to the map. Or use it. Oh, nice. Oh shit! People are fighting. 2 hard drives. If you're gonna do boot, at least do 2 hard drives. But yeah. See a student at university. Do you have any recommendations or advice? Yeah, I wrote a whole boost on that. I've been programming for years and have quite a lot of experience. I have recommendations. It might not be the best thing for you, but my recommendations boil down to what I have put in my boost. So go to rbxrob/boost, and there's like 3 years of boost videos and new content coming out. You can go read there, and that's my shortest recommendation. Nothing is happening in chat for you. Yeah, I know. This is in YouTube chat. So yeah, there's more than one because some people want to don't tell. This is quite baffling to me. This is a really stupid ass simple thing that's causing me trouble, and I don't think it's related to the n++. It seems like it's going ahead and it's scanning another line. I just don't understand. It's almost like there's an extra key value before it has any values at all. And that might be something related to my new map function. So let's do that. Let's do m.print and see what happens there. Nope. Nothing there. Empty. So empty println m. Maybe it's not because it's parsing it. I understand it. Parse, okay. No, it's not printing anything. Fuck. Print f. Q. Map. It's like a really stupid error. I'm really embarrassed. It's a stupid ass error. Some stupid little error, and I can't find it. So, yep, there we go. So map is empty, which we would expect. Let's print out the scanner. I don't know. And we did make a new bytes reader, so that might have been the issue. It might be related to the way I did scanner. Okay, fine. Let's do a V. Here's all the values to it. Memory addresses, no, false. Okay, so this is the state of the scanner object. Tells you where it's at and everything. So nothing there. It's kind of cool, actually. You can do this. Yep, I can look at the scanner every time. So the scanner, and then after it does its first read, we have our byte arrays. And there's the entire thing. This is one of the things I don't like about the scanner. This is one of the reasons I was doing the C style one. You see all these empty things that it read? See that? That's because it did a read ahead rather than just a simple parse. This really makes me want to go back to a C style scanner. This is because the way that the scanner works and the idiomatic user space way of doing it is sometimes really fucking brain dead. Because you see what it's doing? It's loading all of this stuff into a pre-assigned buffer that is way bigger than it needs to be. And so it has a bunch of extra stuff when all it really needs to do is be this big. So, and that's because we're using buff.io. That's actually because we're using bytes buff.io. That's probably the issue with bytes buff.io instead of not scanner. I can't blame scanner for that. That's definitely buff. That's the new scanner coming from the buff.io stuff. So buff.io automatically says, okay, I'm going to make a thing that's this big, and then we're going to read this many things from it. This is a 10, which is probably the line return. No, it's not. Let me check. That might be something else. No, it is. See, here's the line return. Here's another line return. Here's the carriage return. Line return, right? So it has all of this other stuff to read over here. And that is the problem, to tell you the truth, because as far as it's concerned, it still has stuff to read, even though it's not reading from the line. That means that it's considering all of this an extra line return, I have a feeling. That could be a problem, particularly because it could be that, if for some reason it thinks it still has a line left. So the traditional scanner methods aren't working. It's greater than 0. I already did that. Yeah. I mean, let's check. Okay, let's do that. Let's print out the line length instead. So let's do that. Let's print, we'll print the line, and then we'll print the line length. I want to understand what's happening here. This is more than just me kind of obsessing. I think it's, yeah. Oh, it doesn't hold any tokens, and scanner returns nil. But it's not. It's returning empty line because it's forcing it to be a string. That's what's driving me crazy. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Corner case with n plus plus. So last call doesn't hold any tokens in B, and scanner returns nil. I'm not understanding that. So this, if that were true, then this would be an empty line. Yeah, but this would be, I mean, if that's, I'm this scanner.text is only returns a line, right? The reason it's doing this is because scanner.scan is not returning an end of line false. It says there's still more stuff to do is the problem. So this is not sufficient to do what we need, because it's returning true when we're done reading lines. But that should be caught by this, but it isn't. It's not catching it. So empty line, it shouldn't write line 3 times. Yeah, I agree. It should write line 3 times. I agree that it should, but I think it might be doing it right. Well, empty in our vision is line for scanner. Empty line is byte nil. Yeah, right. The point of this is, you're absolutely right. This is returning true, right? So this is one of the reasons people don't like for parsing like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a line that's been automatically truncated, which the scanner does, and it gives us our 2 values, and that's fine. And then it prints another one. It's adding another key value pair because it's iterating one additional time, even though none of this is true. And this blows me away, because like, how is it adding an extra one? Oh, I know. Wait. I think I know. I think we could we somehow be adding another key by default to the m.m? That's the only way we could be doing it. The only way this could be happening is if m.m hasn't. No, that wouldn't happen. It would never happen. Yep. This is really funny and weird. Yeah, I did already. So abstract. Oh, I think it. Wait. Abstract. It's a pointer to the map struct. We're returning a pointer. New map returns a pointer. Yep, returns a pointer, thank God. So this creates a new map struct with no values. So that should not be the problem. And then this interface, yeah, this is really fucking weird to me. It's gonna be some stupid simple thing, but I can't see it. Scanner's going for an extra unexisting line. Cannot find any token and stores nil and byte for representing line. It's definitely assigning nil here. The thing that doesn't make any sense to me is it seems like it's getting to this line, even though it's not printing this line, which doesn't make any sense. So I have a feeling that the M has got something in it before, and I printed that out already just to check, and it was empty. It was an empty map. So it's either that or, you know what it could be? It could be, I think I know what it might be. I think it might be my converter. I think it might be my marshaller. That's the only explanation. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yep, I'm sure this is it now at this point. Yep, see this? It's iterating through the string representation. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, I found it. I have to fix it, but I think I know what it is. It has nothing to do with that code. This code is 100% okay, this scanner. It's the string representation that's fucking it up. So this is the thing, it's like iterating one extra time, and it's probably got the value in it instead. Yeah, I'm betting that's it. Okay. Yeah, for range, m.keys. Yeah, so it might be the keys are the problem. Yeah, I bet this is it. Make m length. Yeah, so I probably made it too big. I think I did. I think I made the keys too big. And so that put an extra key equals value as nil in there, so it didn't match up directly. That's sometimes an efficiency thing. Another way to do this that's less efficient is to just do it like this. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So that would mean it would be keys equals a new, wait, what was it? A new string array. Okay, so keys equals a new string buff, empty string buff. And then we do m.array, then we do m keys. See, but the reason I didn't want to do this is I didn't want to, it's slower to do append. If you know the number of keys up front, it's good. But I'm going to do this anyway. So keys, comma, okay. And that will tell you how many keys we have. K equals value. We don't need the value. We just need all the keys. And then we sort the keys. Yeah, I bet you that's it. I'm a bet that's it. Nope. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's see if we got this. Sort keys. Return keys. Print string keys. Keys equals m.keys for range. Buffer equals buffer split. Return buffer. MT println. I gotta fix this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like going to town. I know, but Q. I want to see the buffer. I want to see the buffer. I have a feeling it has to do with my marshalling. Yep. All right, so got foo. Example new map. That's fine. I mean, all those other tests shouldn't have passed if that were true, though. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling it's something in there, though. I don't need n++ in keys. You're right. I did at one point, and then I got rid of it. Yep. Thank you. That's leftover unused stuff. Yeah, that was because of I was using that because I was doing the other way, which I just changed. So those are all cleanups, but so far they're not relevant. This means my keys test is probably wrong. Let me go check. Yeah, it means my keys test is probably not on. So set foobar print keys. See, no, it's right. It's right. It's working. Now, to be fair, I'm using the set get on this instead of setting it the internally. I'm not fucking up any of the internal stuff, am I? Let me check. Yep. This is such a stupid error. I can't believe it. Because the scanner's right. I know the scanner's right. Yeah. So, and here I need the n because the only reason I added an n in here is because I wanted to show what line we were on. And when it has an error, that's the only reason. So this is working. That part's, so 7 lines, and then it's got this extra thing. What we need to do is output it before it gets here. The problem is that the string is going to be interpreted as a string with a stringer in it. And if I delete the stringer, it's going to give me trouble. So let's do this. Let's do got. Let's only do got on parse. All right. So we can keep doing this, and I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to get rid of the stringer interface for a second. Whoops. Let's see. I forgot to do this. Wrong comments. I mean, what? I can just do this. That's fine. I have different ways of doing it. It doesn't matter. I change every day. All right. So if I get rid of that, then this should, yeah, mnet string undefined type measures no field string. Yeah. See, I'm doing a string conversion up above here. Yep. So bytes. So I'm doing the string conversion there, and I probably should not. So let's see. This is in save. I mean, I don't need this one right now, but I have a feeling it's related to some other interaction with the marshalling, and I need to disprove that that's the case. Method save undefined. It's a map. Yeah, it doesn't have a save method, so now the interface is not going to match. This is kind of the problem with interface development, because if you decide to change your mind, you get fucked. It's either that or you like rip out the guts of something if you want to isolate it. So if I have to turn those back on, I mean, and then they just do other stupid shit like just return it. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is all fine, but so I mean, I only did that because I didn't want to call string. What I really need to do is fuck with string. All right, so not a good day today. Favorite markup language? Common mark. comma mark GitHub flavored, comma mark plus GitHub flavored, which is just comma mark plus GitHub templates. I mean GitHub tables. That's it. I don't know, man. I'm running out of steam here. This is a stupid ass problem. It should be easily taken care of. I'm gonna have to do an individual. I'm gonna have to do an individual test to make myself happy on this instead of an example test. I don't really need it though. I wonder if I can try parse. All right, we have parse. All right, let's. I think it might have something to do with the fact that I did control RN better, but I don't know. So, yeah. No, it's definitely doing it. Oh, I know. Let's do this. M equals config.parse. Let's do this instead. So we could do println, and then we could just do m dot get foo. Let's play games. Lol. We're going to get. I mean, I know this will pass. That's the problem. I don't. This is sort of cheating. I don't want to do this. This is really cheating. That'll print foo and bar, but it doesn't know. But see, there's still another thing in there. So what we're actually testing is the print. This will pass, or more or less. Component parses 2 values. Oh right. Yeah, let's look at what the error is. That might be interesting. Error. So we got foobar. So see, as I'm saying, if I were to just test for the values, it will work. The tough part of this is that the underlying map, which I can't see because it's internal. Actually, no, I can do raw on that. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll do fmt println m.raw, which is another test. That will give me the raw underlying thing. So that should actually only have the 2 values in it. There we go. It's correct. So the parser is not the problem. The parser is the string marshalling. And that's why I was so fucking confused. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's, yep, that proved it for me, thank God. All right, so the parser's working, and there's something wrong with, this is done. So the parser's done. And we need to test the error condition. And I mean, we can do that later. Let's get rid of the line stuff. This should be passing now if I go back to 3. Yeah. All right. So that's all good. That is doing exactly what it's supposed to. I'm not going crazy. I was really going crazy there. Let's test the error condition while we're at it in the parser, and then we'll go starting to look at the dumper, because it's the string dumping that's causing the problem. So let's do, I mean, we can still got, and we'll come back to, let's go change the examples up a little bit. Let's add another example. So this output should be something along the lines of error Will Robinson. So we're going to do that. And we'll grab this. And we're going to try to parse something that's got shit in it that doesn't work. See, this is why. Well, unexpected. I want to key. I'm gonna do that, and then right. So we can do this, and that actually should be, if we did m.raw, that should be something else. That should be not used, right? Fine. 3. I mean, I want to put that in there so they do it. So map foo foo. See how it has a space in there? See that? Yep. So map foo space foo. Yep. Okay, but I want to show. So if I do fmtf println m dot get foo, they'll be like, nope. What? Oh, because it's empty. Yeah, you can't do an empty string. So I'm gonna do f, and then I'll do a quoted string. Yeah. So they can see it. And that gives us an empty string. It's like, what? I want people to see that. I wanted people to see that that is not what they want. They're going to be like, that is not what I was expecting. I'm like, exactly. So, because why? Because it has a space in there, right? So, I mean, I could change it, yank all this UI to 99 and put unexpected val to make the same idea. In the output, is the key store happening for marshalling? Not quite. Not in this particular case. Are you talking about the other one? The other one is that we have an extra key value pair that's not registering. And that's we know the parser's working, right? So that has something to do with the marshalling, and I'll come back to the marshalling in a second. I don't have a sufficient test to grab the marshalling error that I'm getting. But this one I want to do val. So this would be foo equals foo. I want to show this is, I mean, it's the same sort of thing. It's just a different thing. Get foo, and the value is gonna be space foo, and this is going to be this, and it's going to be space foo. That should pass. Yep. All right. So those two are unexpected. And what else do we have? We have a number of other things. How's it going, Matt, on YouTube? Yeah. So yeah, we need something else here. We need what was the test we were going to do? We were going to do the test on like combining the parsing. Oh, no. We need to test the air condition. That's right. Yep. We need to test the air condition. So the air conditioning. It sounded like I said. So we need to test air Will Robinson. So I'm gonna copy these 4 lines, and we're gonna parse this. And I mean, it's a crazy parse, but who gives a shit? But we want to do, we're gonna break it. We want to say foo, right? And it was a line return, but that should break it in ways that we can see. Example parser declared. Oh, right. Error. No. Equal sign. Those will all show up in the docs. Print error. We actually don't need the M in this case, so we can turn it off. Invalid config line 1 foo equals foo. That's all I need. If I were doing the individual parser, like if I wrote my own thing, I could actually give it the exact, like, column as well, but that's good enough. So now we pass. So no equal sign. I mean, if they try to do a colon, we should do the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, invalid config. I mean, that's enough. That's enough to test the error condition. I just need that code to get covered. People can see the other ones. So our parser works. It's fully tested. The problem that we were having is that my printer isn't working anymore now. So I have a new condition in my marshalling that's causing a problem. This iteration is either in the strings iterator. It's handing off a string that doesn't exist. So let's test that first. When you're doing sort strings here, this is a problem. So for some reason, we're getting more strings than we should. I have a feeling. And so when you iterate over it, it's iterating over one extra string and it's trying to display it. It doesn't exist. So you get a nil. You get a nil for this and an empty k. And because I'm ranging over m.keys, which means there's got to be something extra in m.keys that doesn't belong. So something's going on there, and I don't know what it is. We're gonna go find that out right now. I'm going to suspect the keys function is the problem. So let's go check keys. Example keys set foobar m.keys. So this is what drives me crazy. Is this is doing it correctly? This would seem to indicate that there's not too many. I mean, let me try something else. FMT println m.raw. And that should be, yeah, foobar. So it's fine. So that is absolutely not the problem. That's not it. So it's not keys. Which means that that's okay. So keys is working. Buff equals buff. So, I mean, let's try the string rep. If I do this, I'm going to have to isolate the test because all the other tests are going to blow up, get in the way. So I'm going to do run. I don't only want to run the string test, which, do I have a string test? I don't think I do. I have a save, I have a parse. I probably need to save a string test. I mean, it's just a stringer interface, so but who cares? So yeah, I might as well do it. So dir file, new map. Yeah, I see this is working. All right, let's try this. Func example map string. All right. We'll get a new conf. 2, 3. No. Why is this doing keys? I don't know why that. I think I have to have map keys here. Huh. I wonder if it's not even running that test. Yep, it ran it. Okay. So it's running it. Was it running it with just keys? I wonder if that's because it's an interface. Did I define that as an interface? No. Okay, so it wasn't running it before. That's good. That's good to know. Yep, that's good to know. All right. Yeah, I thought so. All right, so we have map as a type, an interface type, so we can test its methods, no problem. New map, this is definitely, that's a function, so that's fine. The reflection, for example, test uses the identifier. The first identifier has to be one of the main things, and then if it's a method, it has to have an underscore after it. And it's uppercase if it's an actual method. If it's an extra distinction, it has to be underscore. So that's confusing, I know, but let's try this. So output, we should do m dot mt println m, and it should be, honestly, it should be foo equals foo, and that should pass. Map string pass. I don't get it. Do we have any problem at all? What was the problem before? It was parse, right? Where's our parse test? Okay, so parse. All right, so I have one more test to do here. FMT. This is the one that was blowing up before, and I was just printing M, and that should be no. Yep. Kaboomala. Kaboom. Get rid of the V. Try without dash line after bar. I know that's what I think is going on, but I haven't been able to isolate it. It's doing it. It fixed it. It's fixed now. You see in this? It's totally fixed. And I can't tell you why. It's definitely fixed. Look at it now. So it's got foo bar. It does the proper map. It does the proper stringify. I must have fixed something along the way. I wonder if the get sometimes is magic. It really is. Do you see it now, right? It's like, and it's sorted, and that's what we want. So now it's bar equals bar and foo equals foo, and that's always going to be that way. So it passes. Yeah. I don't get it. It was doing some fucking, did I have an extra print statement in there? I wonder if I had some, I must have had some like random extra print statement in my thing, like for debugging or something. And that was fucking up my print. That might be it. That would explain a lot. That would really explain a lot. It's like, no, it's actually your, stupid code there. That would explain it. That would make so much more sense. That I had like a print statement someplace that was not supposed to be like left over in my code. It would not be the first. That's why you should use symbolic debug. Oh no! Don't go there. How's it going, Map from YouTube? Coding sometimes is magic. It says Black Mouse on Twitch. How about all the time? It's working. It's working. Yeah. Which one? Yeah. Yeah, it should have been fine still. Yep. Well, now everything's passing, so I'm happy. Print JSON, we got the test for that. Foo, yep. How is that sound only? How is that sound only? Oh, I know. Let me try it again. God damn it. I have to check this thing every time. Yeah, after the reboot. After the reboot, I broke my X-Clip again. God damn it. Yeah. I'm always breaking shit. It's because I rebooted and I redid my displays. And then after I did all of that last night in Witcher, I found out that in the video displays you can tell what screen you want to open it on. What display number. And I was like, after all this other shit I did to rearrange it to make it the default. And I was like, oh. So yeah.
It's working! It's working!
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yes.
No ending! No ending! No ending!
I love that it randomizes them.
No ending! No ending! No ending!
Yeah, 10 minutes till the break again. I know. Something else will break. We're going to be moving to Kubernetes stuff at noon-ish. And I feel like this is good. I think we got everything done. I think we got our parsing function to work. And we're saving values. So the only other thing we have to do is load. I might be able to do that in a couple of minutes here. And this whole project will be done. So yeah, I think the only thing left I have is load. How much time I got? I can probably do this. Some Kubernetes. You sure you don't actually want to play some games instead? Jalopy, we're gonna do that at night. I do that when my brain doesn't work. You can tell too. We do the Witcher stuff when my brain doesn't work. I can just lay back and slowly get fat from all the alcohol. Just play Witcher. What else we got? So yeah, so that we have one more. I think it's the only other thing we need to implement. Load. Load is the only one left. So you have parse. Okay, let's talk about terminology. I've been calling this save, but I wonder if I should call it write. I should probably call it write. Yeah, because the OS is write file, right? So let's change save to write. And then I'll create a read that just reads it from the default location. And it'll be read and write, and they'll be opposite each other. Yeah, that's going to break a lot, though, so I got to go find save everywhere. Load and dump. You like load and dump better? No, because it's not going to a given location, so by anything that writes to a default or inferred location. So conf.writer. Yep. This is slightly different than other stuff. Default inferred location, exe file, parsing values, blah blah blah. Writers should use a configurable way to set the file mask, to set the write perms, C write perms, and dir perms, CXT dir perms even call. That write makes more sense here. All right, so stringer must be implemented as a read/writeable string. Did I do that right? I don't think I did. I think it's writeable, right? No spell check because it's Go. Is it right? All right, so raw returns the inner map string for direct manipulation that bypasses locking, such as when ranging or sorting. where's some of the safer? So writer. We need a writer and a reader. We need a getter, a setter, a reader, and a writer, a JSONify, and a stringer. It can almost make a song out of that. So new map, parse, and then we need read. Read is actually not that hard. Read is just go find the file and then read it. Yep. So func m. No. Huh. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's a reason to make it not just a function. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to rip the shit out of this. I'm ripping the shit out of it. I'm making it functional. Boom, boom. Those go away. Yep. I'm taking the reading and writing out of it. Yep, because then we can use write perms and everything. Yep. So, yep. I might still need that. I might still need those docs, so we're going to keep that for a second. Setter and getter, writer, reader. Where's reader? Do we have reader in there still? How to do reader? No, thank God. Okay, reader, parser. So new map. This is going to be a different function. It's not going to be in the map thing at all. No, actually it will because it's related to maps, so I'll keep it in this file. Where's my reader here? Yep. All right, so JSONify string. So we have a bunch of functions here. So parse. I have a bunch of like raw functions, and then I have the methods, and I want to group them because this is making me crazy. Yeah, I got to group all the methods together. I'm going to go nuts. Usually the idiomatic thing to do here is to put all of the non-method related things at the top, and then do the other stuff at the bottom. So that's usually the idiomatic way to do it. So actually, I kind of already had that. All right. So have all the methods here. So that means we have the new map, and where's my parse map? So we have new map and we have parse. New map and parse are two ways to get a new map, and then we have read. Read will give you a new one from the default location. So read returns a new struct that fulfills map interface by reading the default location, which must be the value, which cexe file function. That's all. Okay. This way we can actually allow people to read different locations if they want to. Let's see, we don't need that. Directory file specifically, no. Exe dir file. Plus fives. Okay. So func read. This is not that hard at all. We should be able to do this fast. What time is it? 12:00. Oh no. People are here for Kubernetes and they're seeing Go. Read. We're going to return two things. We're going to return a map struct and an error. Return m and nil if we have success. So we're actually we don't even need to do that. Nope. We can parse a buffer and read it straight in. Yep. So we can return parse buff, and we can read the buff as actually no, we can just do a read file on that. No, we need the error though. No. Yeah. io.read file, and we'll pass that the path to the file, which is exe dir file with values. If error nil, the regular thing, I don't have a macro, so return nil error. Otherwise, we can do that. I think we're good. So now we just need to test this. In my examples. So where's the one where we wrote it already? We need to actually create one. Yeah, here we go. Let me cheat. I'm going to use my test to create it, and I'll use the same test to do it. So I'm going to get rid of my my wrapper for a second. Yeah, my cleanup. I'm going to turn off my cleanup for a bit. And then the test should have already done it. Undefined IO. Are you sure? Are you positive? I think it might be OS. It might be FS actually. I think they changed it. This is IO util deprecation that's got me triggered right now. Has no method save, right? And we're not going to do method save. What is that? What is that coming from? Map.go? Okay. We'll do map.go. Where am I doing my save? Wait. Where's my save? 22. Right. Okay. So return save-m. This is the newfangled read and write. Yep. These are gonna come out now. So I'm gonna make them. I'm decoupling them, and it'll be fine. So these are going to be elevated as well, because they're now top level functions. They go with read, and we'll put save. We'll put read and write, and raw and all this shit goes with the actual receiver. Keys. I mean, keys is kind of an inferred, implied. I like dynamic attributes. That's totally fine. But I'm not a fan of action methods. I don't like that. I don't know why. I just never have been. So write M. Let's see here. We're going to be doing Kubernetes here in a bit. Give me a second here to wrap this up. So write the error. Okay, so what does this actually do? Now, see, it didn't need to be documented before because it wasn't exposed. And now, actually, it still doesn't need to be documented because... yes, it does, actually. It's not an interface anymore, so it has to absolutely be documented. Right, okay, so this takes an M, which is a map. No, this takes a map. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So take interfaces, return structs. That's the way to do it. Right, writes the map to the default location. CEXE dir files pass values argument. All right, so with the default package permissions. See write perms. All right, so that's it. And locks the map and writes it to the default locations. Yep, that's a write lock for sure. We don't need to read write lock there, so we'll keep that. Write lock, raw, get. We need these. These. Yeah, I don't know, man. These get set keys string. Yeah. I don't know what's easier to read. We'll just keep this the way it is. I kind of feel like those should be closer to the interface. Yeah, but whatever. We'll just keep it here. Just sonify. There's the map. Getter setter. It's a simpler interface now. I like that because people can implement it pretty easily. Map struct implements the interface. Map struct. And parse. And then read. We got read. So time to start testing shit. M.lock undefined. Type map is no method or method lock. This is good. This is really good. I'm so glad this happened. Oh my God. I'm so glad it happened because I missed that in the interface because I'm so glad I did this because I left out locking. Yeah. But in order to fulfill the map interface, this is so interesting. Okay, wait. If I do this, then I can remove locking. No, I can't, because the getter and the setter have to do it in a implements a compound symbol for returning from new map. See the individual single method interface. I have to put lock in here. I have to put lock and unlock in here for sure. And I'm not going to use a read write map. Yeah. You know why? Because yeah. As a parseable string. This is super interesting. Okay. Because so now I have to decide whether I want map to do the implementation of lock to be a read write lock or not. It's not Bork. No, it's not. It's not Bork. It's much better. It's much better. You know why? Because I have to. Yeah. I have to have a lock and an unlock. So I can say, I'm going to make lockable. And then I'll say type lockable. Or we could say concurrent, right? Safe for concurrency. What do we want to call that? Lock safe. I'm going to make it say it has to have the concurrent interface. It must have the mutex interface. It needs a mutex. What do I want to call it? Conf.mutex? Conf.lock? The lock interface, conf.lock. Lockable, locker, concurrent. I don't like lockable. It has to have a mutex in it. People will know mutex if they know mutex. So, yeah. I'm just going to put mutex. Duct tape. So it has to have a mutex interface, which just means it has a lock and an unlock. lock and unlock. And now I have to really document this. Mutex implements a, let's see, implements a mutex lock and with lock and unlock that should lock the all reads and writes while locked. Implementations may decide to limit scope to same runtime memory space, or to extend locking or extend in, to a system level scope that other applications can also observe. That other running processes can also observe. External, because I want to be able to expand it, so that other external running processes can also observe. Okay, that's what I want in that. So here I have to say this returns a new struct that fulfills the map interface and embeds a new sync r mutex to fulfill the mutex new mutex conf.mutex interface. We could say this. We could say eventually the mutex implementation may extend to be expanded to allow other processes to observe the lock as well. All right, so just a thing, we don't have to do that, but it might be happening. Okay, nice. Parse constructs all of this. This parsers it. Save, undefined save. Yep, there's no save anymore. Return save, return save. I still have m.save somewhere, probably. Where is save? We submitted. Oh, it's right now, right? Am I right? It's actually, there's no right anymore. It's just right m. All right, so how are we doing? Undefined map conf.map struct has no field or method saved because I don't need to anymore. Nope. VI example tests. We'll call this right now. Actually, we don't need map anymore. We can do right like that. So that should still pass. Map struct line 69. Oh, right. Nope. Right. M. Undefined right. Oh, right. Conf.right. You know what I really like about that? God, that makes me feel so. I can actually have multiple application configuration structs floating around in the same runtime, and then write them all individually, independently, because they're not bound to that. I really like that a lot. So I can say I can actually loop through all of the current application runtime spaces if I have. So like if I mixed multiple things, I'm really gonna be able to use this for my command box thing a lot because it has this idea of multi-call, which is technically a whole bunch of different individual executables, and so they can all have different configuration files that can be living in this space, and their configurations can be stored as different conf maps, and be able to store it that way. That is cool. Super happy about that. So now we just need to test the read, and we'll be done. God, 12:16. So everything is all good and kosher, whatever you want to call it. And then we need to do a read. We need to do example read. All right. So because of this, by the way, I should also now have a sample file written. Let me show you. What is this? What is this? Oh yeah, I don't need that at all. Yeah, and command box stuff. Okay. So now I can go to this thing here, and because I took out my cleanup, that's not good. That is not good. Right. OS buffer, OS read write. Oh, look at that. We're getting rid of the error. Can't do that. If error is not equal nil. That's throwing an error. I'm not seeing it because I'm bad. And it should fail the test now. The write's gonna fail. It should fail anyway. What? Oh, that's why. What? That should not work. There. All right, that's what I wanted. So this file here has all of my values in it. Okay. Actually, I'm going to take that up a notch because I want to put 2 or more values in there. So let me mess with my example. For write, let's do a couple of these. Bar. The test should automatically have already happened and written it that way. Yep, there we go. So I can actually copy that out to a new file. I need to change the name of it. This is making me want to add metadata to the configuration structures that indicate what the name is, and then when it initializes, it automatically picks the name of the executable, but it can still be changed. I can't forget to do that. I got to write that down. That would really be useful. So because we got to put a lock in here anyway. We're already using independent struct, which means we can put metadata in the struct. And the metadata for the struct would be, instead of inferring the executable name, you could tell it, I want to use the executable name. And then when I do write, I can change my reads and writes to use it. Go out. We could change readable and writable. Actually, we don't have to do that because of the file. We could give the configuration map, the conf map, a name, and it would be the unique name, and the unique name would be inferred by the exe. That is really, we have to do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually, no, is this golden? Let me commit this because I think this is golden. And I don't want to break more shit. I want to keep it running. So we broke example write. Let's go fix that. Example write. And this is going to get sorted every time. So should be back to passing. Okay. I need to check. I need to do a test for save, and then I need to add the other thing. If I had that other extra piece in there, though, that would alleviate the testing here. Oh. I definitely want to do that because that way every conf map would have its own identifier, and so I could make the identifier. I could change the identifier and just be done with it. and it was still put it in config, but it would change the name if I wanted it. That's actually really useful. I'm kind of trying to stop myself from doing that right now. I need to finish the test I need to do the example test for save first. And to do that, I have to have a configuration data. Right. The problem I'm having is that I'm cleaning up too much right now. The other problem I have is I cannot, with the default read write stuff, it automatically infers it from the name of the executable. And the problem with that is that I can't test it because it would have to be from here. Unless I have a dependency test. If I have a test that depends, one test that depends on another test, right? Which is fine. I don't see any other way around this. Yeah, this testing here is going to be a little wonky because I'm going to be kind of cheating. Only because I know I'm going to be cleaning up the thing later. So I actually have to do a write in order to do the read. Yeah. So then I can do, I really don't need this stuff. So the read file. I know this, so we're going to do a write, and then instead of all of this, we're just going to do a read. And we'll do, I'm going to make a new one. So I'll say, new m equals conf.read. And then we'll just give it the file name. No, it's supposed to infer the file name. So that's, yeah. And we need an error. And that should be the same. It should be the same. So new m print ln string. Now we should be able to print. Actually, no, we can just do this. Did I make a print support? I think I did. fmt println new m. And it should be exactly the same. Yep, it should be the same. So it should write it and then read it and get the new one. Yep, that's a good test. And it passes. Yay. And that test will work with my ripping everything down too. If you know what I mean. So I got to do my tear down again because I don't want it to be clean. So that should work. All right. And I'm going to do one more fresh test because I don't quite believe it. It worked too easy. So new map, parse, example testing, example read. So read writing is working fine. You know how we could really tell? We could do this. We could write it and then I could append to the file. Yeah. Let's do other one. Yeah, still passes. But if that worked, then this will have, oh, right, because we got rid of the cleanup. I wonder which one it's going to do first. Let's test. Yep, there it is. Okay. Alrighty. That's working. Everything's working. Looks like it's ready to save. That actually fulfills all the things I need except for the ability to name it, which I want to be able to override. So I'm going to add an issue for that, and then I'll do that next week or tomorrow or tonight or whatever. I'm kind of already in our Kubernetes training time. If you're waiting around for Kubernetes training, co-learning, not training, thanks for your patience while I wrap this up. I'm just going to open an issue here. I'm going to move right into it. So yeah, I'm going to open an issue really quick. Add map struct add map dot we don't want to call it exe. We want to say, I think we want to call it name. Yeah, we do. We want to call it identifier or name. Name. Should we call it name? No, we're talking. This is a property. It's gonna be a property. So should we call it name or ID? Probably name. Map.id. What's the map name? It's named Pomo. What's the map name? You see what I'm saying? You think name? All right, and then we'll just change it. Set it by. Well, it'll have a setter and getter. You know, it'll be an interface, so it'll have to have a method to set it. But yeah, to override derived from exe. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this in here. So need to add namer interface for interface to set or return the name. If we're going to add it to the interface, unfortunately, it's got to have a stupid fucking setter and getter. So it would be, unfortunately, it's going to be like this. I mean, I could put conf.name. That's fine. It has to have a name interface. That's a property, right? Whatever you want to call it. A member attribute. So the traditional way to do this in Go is like this. And they don't, this is like really, really idiomatic. If you don't do it this way, people will yell at you. So I'm just letting you know. Call it lame. Through the lamer. Couldn't resist, huh? All right, so there we go. We got that's a thing that is there. So we've got set name and get name. So it has to have a name interface. I'm not going to call it namer. We could call it namer interface. I'm just going to call it name interface. So because it's a property, or you can say name property or whatever. I mean, I could add that pretty quickly, but I don't want to. This is the metadata in the config map, so it just gives us a way to identify it, and so we can still store different config maps all over the place. And it's funny because it's almost nearly identical to the config map Kubernetes resource, except for it's not using JSON or any of that. It's just key value pair. So this is nice because it's actually compatible with the config map stuff from Kubernetes. Meta name, no, it's no. No, I mean, dot name, no, because everything else is going to be get and set. So I think we're good. All the get field and set field, you know, so that's fine. It's definitely metadata. So I'm happy. I'm really happy with that. I kind of want to finish it because we're very close to being done with it. I'm probably going to be doing that before I do Witcher today. I don't know because I want that done. I want to make that. I want to use that for all kinds of stuff, and it looks like it's working really well. So I need to swap out a bunch of other stuff. That's like, for example, my auth config module needs to change. We need to simplify that because the interface is really complicated right now. I don't want to break anything though because it's all my Twitch and YouTube stuff all uses it. So what? I really need more games. Shut up. I blame you. I blame you for helping me to work in 5 minutes. It was more like 10, but still. Dude, that's crazy. You saw I made a video, right, Jalopy? Did you see I made a video about how to do Witcher in like 5 keystrokes? I cannot believe it. Hikari Knight was in here the other day and he's like, oh, Proton, yeah, Proton, yeah. Yes, Proton, good job. Everything else needs Letras, you know. So I was blown away by how fucking easy that was. I cannot tell you how amazing that it just blows. Still, this I'm still amazed by it. If in case anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, so Jalape's in our Twitch. He or she, they got me to click on support Proton and Steam, and so I was able to run my favorite game of all time, Witcher, on Linux, and it's now become a regular thing. Right, I've just been sitting around picking berries and killing monsters. Yeah, he was here last night. Yeah, he was here last night. I haven't seen him in a while too. Yeah, he's going through stuff apparently. I mean, I didn't catch all the details, but who isn't, right? So let's see here. So I'm gonna kill this video. And we're gonna start after I do this commit. Everyone, just say no if you want to take a break. I'm gonna go over on the Kubernetes training. So I don't know. I feel like I should eat some lunch. So, how do you feel if you're here for the Kubernetes stuff? You know, I try really hard to keep on schedule. I promise, I really do. But I also have life to deal with. So, and I'm gonna revise the schedule a little bit. I'm gonna like for example, I had 8 o'clock for go on Saturday. Who's gonna get up at 8 to go on Saturday? Not me. So what I'm trying to say is 1 p.m. my time. I think I should probably go eat and everything, and we will go 3 hours. So we'll go from 1 until I'll change the schedule. We're gonna go from 1 till 4, and then I'll go run and everything, and I'll see how much energy I have left tonight to do more coding or something. So if you've been waiting for Kubernetes stuff, I appreciate you waiting for that. Hopefully this has been useful for you. But if you want to go take a break now and you just want to leave and you're not going to be afraid of missing anything, I think I'm going to go ahead and take a break and start at 1, and then I'm going to give myself a solid 1 hour break between streams on Saturday and Sundays from now on, because I need to break down, you know, and do other stuff and things. So I have them back to back, which was stupid, but I figured it was better to have something on the schedule than nothing. So if you're here for that, go ahead and, you know, do whatever you're doing and go do that. So what did we get in here that's different? Git diff. Git diff is always so revealing after you do it. It's like, it gives you all of these like new things that you weren't, like, oh wow, okay. So we added keys. We added map keys. We fixed that. We went to map string. That's interesting. Okay. We went to read file. Parse. So mostly we added parse. And what else did we do? We added parse and removed some of the interfaces. Okay, I got it. All right, so let's do an add-a commit. So add parse and move to conf.read, write over interface. All right, that's good. And git push. What the fuck? What do you mean I don't have rights? Did I kill my keys already? I think it's because I rebooted. I haven't added it to my keygen yet. Nope. This is actually a good thing. You want this to happen. I'm going to have to stand by y'all for a bit. Again, go do something more interesting for now. All I'm doing is committing. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. See ya.